We have with us a number of poets who are part of the teaching corps at San Jose State. Our first person I will introduce is Persis Karim. She's also the head advisor for the new Middle Eastern Studies Club on campus, and she is part of the faculty that teaches in the Creative Writing MFA program. Persis.
Hi everybody. Because Nils is here, I'm going to read a poem that's probably going to make me cry. And I'm doing it for Nils.
Thank you.
Some of you know that it's been 2 years since we lost our older son, and it's still really hard. And I really appreciated what you said, Erica, about sometimes you write your way through grief and you're only able to understand it after you've passed through a certain amount of time grieving. And this was a poem, I've never read this before, so this is my debut, and I'm probably going to cry, but it's called A Mother's Kiss, and this is for Kyle. As she approached, the body reposed like a Greek statue, wrapped in white sheets on the Jewish undertaker's table. She felt the stone of her sadness inside, swinging like a pendulum. The broadness of his shoulders struck her as odd. Where was the little boy? The boy at the bat? The boy who accepted her concern at 6, but rejected it at 16. She studied him in this peaceful sleep, his long green eyes and dark lashes, longer and more beautiful, his mouth slightly open, hinting a smile that said everything. She touched his cold face, clean except for dry blood in his nostrils and the deep cut on his brow. With the back of her hand, she traced his cheeks, swollen from a violent blow against metal, and felt the stubble of his 53-hour beard. Her body convulsed with sorrow, and she wilted onto the corpse, letting loose her choked throat. Her mind composed a litany of words to claim him. Son, stepson, husband's son, son of that woman, that son of a bitch, but none would pass her lips. Then, as she lifted herself to move toward the large steel door, she turned back toward him and saw the tip of one toe escaping, the white gathered about him to hide his injured nakedness. Her tenderness brought her back to his side, where she couldn't help declaring, "You were my son, my first son, and I mothered you." Then, as if waking to realize she was alone, speaking to closed ears, she leaned in to give him a mother's kiss in that space just above and between his eyes. And because I never like to leave you with just tears, I'll read you a funny poem. This is a poem about noses, big noses, and I have one. And I think it speaks for itself. And if any of you are from Mediterranean cultures, you know that having a big nose is a vexing thing. And Iran is the largest, the most popular, the country in the world that has the most nose jobs per capita. And that's my heritage. I am the only one of 4 sisters who has not gone under the knife. I resisted the pleas of my aunt and sisters to become more beautiful, more you. I've kept my stately proboscis intact, choosing not to excise its grandeur. It suits me, I suppose, evidence of my father, those people who live in the drier, hotter climes of the Mediterranean, in high desert plateaus, cooling themselves with nasothermo regulation. My old Jewish boyfriend used to say, "How do the Goyim breathe from those things anyway?" On my wedding day, my husband, also Jewish and rather plentiful in that region of his face, completed his vows by saying, "There is no guarantee in love, but of this I am certain. If we have a child, he or she will have a really big nose." When I nuzzle him with mine, he pulls back his face, jumps at the coldness of its tip. Contrary to popular belief, the nose is not merely cosmetic. It can gauge temperature beyond the body. And that's another thing I've realized about the nose, that smell is an underrated sense, perhaps a gift. Imagine the possibilities for amplification. Aromas of jasmine, apple pie, saffron, lemon, rose might grow more intense depending on the height and angle of that fleshy mound. I admit to having no scientific evidence for this, but I do wonder what happens when a person alters the things they were born with. Whole industries were born from Iranian women watching blonde, petite-nosed movie stars who made them forget their own striking beauty, took thousands of years to evolve, only to be undone by someone who decided that hairless, plucked, tucked, sliced, nipped, and trimmed were the loveliest of them all. I like to think of the nose as great art, waiting to be discovered. Like those large-nosed kings depicted on sides of temples, on papyrus, on caves, in colorful Mayan pictographs like Popol Vuh. Noses were signs of nobility and prowess. Any king with a puny one might have been thought of as small and impotent. These days, I get a steady stream of emails offering penis enlargement, but that's hidden, visible only in bedroom interludes. The nose is the public display of one's endowments, the relief map of a human face. I study people's noses in order to read their origins, to situate my gaze, to find how far out in the world they really are. Thank you.